Mic check. Money check. Mindset check. This is Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Where entrepreneurs talk money, strategies, systems, and execution. No fake hustle, no empty flexing, just real business talk that gets you right. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Talk that strategy. Show it. Systems moving, profit growing. Real entrepreneurs already know it. No fake value, better own it. Price meets pain when the bridge is built. Execution turns the vision golden. If the plan is weak, the pressure gets felt. Mic check. Hey. Money check. Mindset check. This ain't just motivation. This is business correction. This ain't just conversation. This is money direction. You want profit, build the model. You want growth, fix the flow. You want increase, check the numbers. What you don't know can stop the show. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Talk that strategy. Show it. Systems moving, profit growing. Real entrepreneurs already know it. Hey. No fake hustle, no empty flexing. No more guessing, no more stressing. Money, strategy, systems, execution. Reload the vision, rebuild the plan. Price the value, know where you stand. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Bumping 96.3 FM. iHeartRadio, YouTube. Where entrepreneurs talk money, strategy, systems, and execution. Stop just listening. Start applying. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Disclaimer. This program is for general business education and discussion. It is not individualized accounting, tax, legal, investment, cybersecurity, human resources, or regulatory advice. Business owners should verify requirements that apply to their entity, industry, employees, contracts, location, and tax situation with qualified professionals. Economic figures used in this episode are time sensitive and should be refreshed if the episode is recorded or published substantially after August 14, 2026. Opening, the flip phone business. There was nothing inherently wrong with a flip phone. It could make a call, receive a call, send a basic text, and in many cases, it did those things reliably. If that was all you expected from a telephone, it worked. But put that flip phone beside a modern smartphone, and the difference is not simply appearance. The smartphone remembers, connects, searches, tracks, stores, alerts, analyzes, navigates, synchronizes, and helps you make decisions with information that used to live in separate places. Now bring that comparison into business. A company can still make a sale, deposit money, hire employees, pay bills, and survive for years while operating with very little organizational intelligence. The owner may be experienced, the company may even be profitable, but the business itself may not systematically know who its customers are, what its customers value, which products make money, which promotions work, where operations break down, what the veteran employees know, what risks are building, or what outside economic changes are likely to hit next. A dumb business is not necessarily an unsuccessful business. It is an information poor business. That distinction matters because success can hide ignorance. A good economy can hide a weak model. One excellent employee can hide the absence of systems. A strong season can hide a cash flow problem. A loyal customer base can hide weak marketing. Revenue growth can hide collapsing margins. As long as conditions remain favorable, everybody thinks the business is smart. The test comes when something changes. What do we mean by intelligence? Merriam-Webster defines intelligence in part as the ability to learn or understand things or to deal with new or difficult situations. That definition gives us the heart of this episode. Can your business learn? Can it understand what is happening? Can it recognize a change? Can it retain what it learned? Can it respond when the marketplace, customer, workforce, technology, season, or economy changes? IBM defines business intelligence as technological processes for collecting, managing, and analyzing organizational data to produce insights that inform business strategies and operations. I am intentionally using the idea more broadly today. This episode is not about buying a dashboard. It is about whether your company has enough reliable intelligence to replace guessing with knowing, and whether leadership is willing to act on what the business learns. When data leaves the room, bias usually takes the chair. That is where behavioral economics enters the conversation. Human beings naturally use shortcuts when information is incomplete. Confirmation bias makes us favor evidence that supports what we already believe. Availability bias makes a recent or emotional event feel more representative than it really is. Overconfidence turns experience into certainty. Status quo bias tells us to keep doing what is familiar. Sunk cost thinking keeps money flowing into a bad decision because we have already invested so much. Intelligence does not eliminate judgment, but it gives judgment something stronger than memory and ego to work with. The 12 intelligences of a smart business. I want to give you a practical model. These are not 12 software packages. They are 12 questions your business should be getting progressively better at answering. Emotional intelligence sits underneath the model as the leadership operating system, while seasonality and macroeconomics form part of the environment surrounding the business. Intelligence with core question it asks. 1. Customer intelligence. Who buys, why they buy, what they value, and why they leave. 2. Financial intelligence. Where money comes from, where it goes, and what condition the company is actually in. 3. Profitability intelligence. Which customers, products, services, channels, and activities create profit. 4. Operational intelligence. How efficiently and consistently the business produces and delivers value. 5. Institutional intelligence. What the business has learned and whether it will still know it after a person leaves. 6. Promotional intelligence. Which advertising and promotional activity actually changes behavior and produces profitable business. 7. Management intelligence. Whether managers are producing the outcomes they were entrusted to produce. 8. Workforce and talent intelligence. Whether the company has the skills, depth, training, and succession capacity it will need. 9. Technology and data intelligence. Whether technology improves decisions, integration, security, and execution rather than merely adding subscriptions. 10. Market and competitive intelligence. What competitors, substitutes, customers, and the immediate market are doing. 11. Risk and compliance intelligence. What can seriously hurt the business and whether obligations and exposures are being controlled. 12. Strategic intelligence. What leadership will do with everything the business has learned. Segment 1. Customer intelligence. Do you actually know who is buying? Ask a small business owner, who is your customer? And one of the most dangerous answers is everybody. Everybody is not your customer. Another answer is mostly women. Which women? What age range? What income range? What zip codes? New customers or repeat customers? What problem are they trying to solve? How did they hear about you? What did they buy first? What do they buy next? What causes them to leave? The U.S. Small Business Administration specifically recommends market research that looks at consumer behavior, economic trends, demand, market size, location, pricing, income, employment, demographics, and competitive conditions. The Census Bureau's Census Business Builder can help owners analyze customers, markets, competition, demographics, and local business conditions. In other words, many small businesses have access to far more market information than they use. Customer intelligence should tell you who buys, what they buy, when they buy, how often they buy, how much they spend, what source brought them to you, what they complained about, what they repeatedly request, and what characteristics your most profitable customers have in common. A CRM can help, but a CRM full of blank fields is just an expensive address book. If your customer information lives primarily inside the owner's head, you do not have customer intelligence, you have owner memory. That becomes a marketing problem, a succession problem, and eventually a business value problem. When a customer walks in, buys something, and walks out without the company learning anything useful about that relationship, the business completed a transaction but missed an intelligence opportunity. Segment 2, Financial Intelligence. Your bank balance is not a financial system. Many owners check the bank balance and call that financial management. There is money in the account, payroll cleared, and the lights are still on, so they conclude the business is doing well. But the checking account balance cannot tell you whether the company is actually profitable, whether receivables are deteriorating, whether debt is becoming dangerous, or whether next month's obligations will consume today's cash. Financial intelligence means knowing revenue, gross profit, gross margin, contribution margin, fixed and variable costs, break-even revenue, payroll burden, debt service requirements, cash reserves, working capital, accounts receivable aging, accounts payable obligations, tax liabilities, budget to actual performance, and forward cash requirements. You do not need a Fortune 500 finance department. You do need numbers that answer decisions. The smarter question is not simply how much money came in. It is, what happened to each dollar after it arrived? What obligations are attached to the cash we see? And what will be required before the next dollar arrives? A growing company can have increasing sales and worsening financial health at the same time. Revenue can make a business look rich while cash flow quietly tells the truth. Segment 3, Profitability Intelligence. Everything you sell is not making you money. Financial intelligence and profitability. Intelligence are related, but they are not the same. An owner may know total revenue and total net income and still have no idea which customer, product, service, channel, job type, location, or salesperson is creating the profit. Suppose Service A generates $300,000 in revenue and Service C generates only $150,000. The owner assumes Service A is twice as valuable. But what if Service A consumes heavy labor, callbacks, travel, customer support, discounts, materials, rework, and slow paying receivables, while Service C requires less service and produces a substantially higher contribution margin? Revenue tells you what is moving. Profitability intelligence tells you what is worth moving. A smart business should be able to rank products and services by margin, identify unprofitable customers, understand discount leakage, measure rework and warranty cost, and distinguish high-volume activity from high-value activity. This is especially important when the company is busy, but the owner keeps asking, where is the money? Some businesses are aggressively selling themselves broke. Their marketing works. The phone rings, customers come, employees are busy, revenue grows, yet every additional unit of activity adds too little margin or too much cost. That is not necessarily a sales problem. It may be a profitability intelligence problem. Segment 4, Operational Intelligence. Do you know how the work actually gets done? Now move behind the counter. Operations generate information all day long. Cycle times, wait times, returns, defects, overtime, stockouts, rework, waste, callbacks, bottlenecks, customer complaints, missed handoffs, idle capacity, capacity overload, and training failures. A dumb operation experiences these things. A smart operation measures enough of them to improve. A restaurant should know more than food sales. It should understand food cost, labor cost, ticket time, waste, table turns, menu profitability, day part performance, stockouts, and repeat customer patterns. A consultant should understand proposal conversion, utilization, delivery time, scope creep, collection time, client profitability, and referral source. A retailer should understand inventory turns, shrinkage, average transaction value, sell-through, stockouts, returns, and conversion. Operational intelligence turns something keeps going wrong around here into a specific measurable problem. It asks where work slows down, where mistakes repeat, which steps create no value, where one person has become a bottleneck, what customers wait on, what employees need to be trained on, and what capacity exists before the next sale is accepted. If you scale a process you do not understand, you may simply scale the confusion. Segment 5, Institutional Intelligence. Does the business remember what it learns? Operational intelligence asks how the work gets done. Institutional intelligence asks whether the organization retains what it has learned about how the work should be done. This is one of the biggest blind spots in small business because the real operating system often is not in a manual, an SOP, or a database. It is in somebody's head. What happens when the 15-year employee retires? What happens when the chef leaves? What happens when the office manager gets sick? What happens when the purchasing person takes another job? If critical information disappears when a person disappears, the business never completely owned that knowledge. The person did. Start with systems and processes. How do you open and close, process payroll, approve purchases, collect past due accounts, handle refunds, respond to complaints, reconcile the bank account, onboard and terminate employees, back up records, handle cash shortages, manage inventory? If the answer is Mary knows how to do that, that is not a documented system. That is Mary, and Mary might leave Friday. Experienced employees should be asked to help build future training. Ask them, what do new people usually get wrong? What do you wish someone had taught you earlier? Which shortcuts are safe and which are dangerous? What warning signs do you watch for? Which customers or vendors require special handling? What mistakes cost us the most? What do you know that is not written anywhere? Then capture it in video, checklists, SOPs, troubleshooting guides, decision trees, job aids, and onboarding materials. Your veteran employees should not only leave you years of service, they should leave the business years of intelligence. Capture the aha moments too. A promotion unexpectedly works. A machine fails in a predictable way. A customer explains why they almost did not buy. An employee discovers a faster method. A vendor causes a problem. Everybody says, now we know. 6 months later, nobody remembers. If the lesson matters, document it, date it, assign ownership, decide what process changes, and determine who needs training. Otherwise, the business can pay to learn the same lesson repeatedly. Accounts receivable, aging reports should also preserve collection intelligence. Do not merely show that ABC Company owes $14,000 at 62 days. Where appropriate, record what happened, who should be contacted, whether an invoice was disputed, who promised payment, what documentation is missing, whether further credit should be paused, and what the next collector needs to know. A new employee should not accidentally extend another $20,000 of credit because the warning lived only in the former employee's memory. Vendor intelligence belongs here too. Who should you call? Who is the backup? What should you buy and what should you avoid? When are seasonal buying opportunities? What are the lead times, minimum orders, volume breaks, restocking charges, warranty issues, negotiated terms, quality problems, and alternate suppliers? Joe knows who to call is not a procurement strategy. Then consider intellectual property and know-how. Recipes, formulas, seasoning blends, pricing formulas, consulting assessments, sales scripts, training curricula, software, checklists, manufacturing techniques, customer service methods, estimating processes, troubleshooting protocols, and proprietary workflows. Is it documented? Who owns it? Who can access it? Is it backed up? Can the company reproduce it if the creator disappears? Has the company considered appropriate contract, copyright, trademark, patent, confidentiality, or trade secret protection with qualified counsel? If your business cannot survive somebody's vacation, it is definitely not prepared for somebody's departure. Segment 6, promotional intelligence. Did the marketing work or did something just happen? Small businesses will spend thousands of dollars on advertising and then evaluate the result with phrases like, a lot of people saw it, the post got good engagement, or somebody said they heard the commercial. Those may be interesting signals, but they are not enough to tell you whether the promotion produced profitable customer behavior. Promotional intelligence asks what we spent, where we spent it, who responded, what action they took, what they bought, what it cost to acquire them, whether they came back, and how much gross profit the campaign produced. Use campaign codes, landing pages, QR codes, dedicated links, call tracking, point of sale source fields, and simple, how did you hear about us discipline. The tool can be sophisticated or basic. The objective is attribution. This is also where you separate advertising from promotion. Advertising communicates and builds awareness or demand through paid messages. Promotion is a broader set of activities designed to stimulate action. Offers, events, limited time incentives, demonstrations, sampling, referral incentives, partnerships, and other activation both can work. Neither should be measured only by applause. If you cannot connect promotion to behavior, you do not have promotional intelligence. You have promotional activity. Segment 7, management intelligence. Do you know who is actually managing? Owners often measure frontline employees harder than managers. The employee is expected to hit a quota, clock in on time, reduce mistakes, and serve customers correctly. Then the manager is evaluated by tenure, loyalty, personality, family relationship, or the vague statement, she handles everything. Management intelligence asks what outcomes management is supposed to produce and whether those outcomes are improving. Look at turnover by manager, absenteeism, overtime, customer complaints, rework, productivity, unresolved conflicts, training completion, employee development, execution against goals, labor cost, response time, and accountability. A manager who is liked but repeatedly loses good employees is producing information the owner should not ignore. Longevity is not the same as management effectiveness. Family membership is not a management credential. Being the person who knows everything can even be a warning sign if no one else is being developed and nothing is documented. A manager's job is not only to personally keep the plates spinning, it is to build a system that makes good performance repeatable. A smart business does not just know what employees are doing. It knows whether management is producing the outcomes management was hired to produce. Segment 8, Workforce and Talent Intelligence. Do you have the capability to grow? Management intelligence evaluates managers. Workforce and talent intelligence evaluates organizational capability. Who are your strongest performers? Who is ready for promotion? Who holds critical knowledge? Where are the skill gaps? Which positions are hard to fill? Why are people leaving? Which skills are underused? Who can replace whom? What happens if the business grows 30% next year? This is where training and development becomes economic infrastructure, not a nice employee benefit. A company should be able to identify competency gaps, build cross-training, preserve knowledge from experienced employees, develop successors, and measure whether training changes behavior and performance. If the business is planning growth but the people system cannot absorb growth, sales success can become an operational crisis. Talent intelligence also looks forward. What roles will technology change? What skills will become more valuable? Which employees can be reskilled? What knowledge should be transferred before retirement? What role is too dependent on one person? What behaviors distinguish your top performers from your average performers? A company that only reacts to vacancies is managing headcount, not talent intelligence. Growth without capability can turn a sales win into a service failure. Segment 9, Technology and Data Intelligence. A smartphone does not make a smart business. Because this entire episode starts with the smartphone comparison, we have to deal with technology. Buying smart technology does not create a smart business. You can own a sophisticated POS, QuickBooks, a CRM, Microsoft 365, cloud storage, AI tools, project management software, and 14 monthly subscriptions, and still run a dumb business because the systems do not talk, employees do not use them correctly, or nobody turns the data into decisions. Technology and data intelligence asks whether the company's information is accurate, useful, protected, integrated, accessible to the right people, and connected to decisions. Does the POS communicate with accounting? Does customer data get captured consistently? Are backups working? Are access rights controlled? Is sensitive information protected? Are duplicate systems creating multiple versions of the truth? Are you paying for features nobody uses? Can routine administrative work be automated safely? Artificial intelligence belongs here as a tool, not as a substitute for business understanding. AI can summarize, classify, forecast, draft, and help analyze patterns, but bad inputs, weak processes, missing controls, and poor judgment do not become intelligent because an AI layer was added on top. Technology is a tool for intelligence. Technology itself is not intelligence. Segment 10, Market and Competitive Intelligence. You can improve and still fall behind. The next intelligence is outside the walls of the company. What are competitors doing? Who is entering the market? Who is leaving? What are competitors charging? What are customers praising about them? What are customers complaining about? What substitutes are appearing? Is technology changing how customers solve the problem? Has the market become commoditized? Has somebody reset the customer's expectation of speed, convenience, quality, or price? The SBA specifically connects market research with competitive analysis because understanding customers without understanding alternatives gives you only half the picture. The Census Bureau also provides business and demographic data that can help owners study local market conditions and competition. Competitive intelligence does not mean obsessing over competitors or copying every promotion they run. It means understanding the environment in which your value proposition is being judged. Your company can be getting better every year and still lose market position if the market is improving faster. You can be getting better and still be falling behind. Segment 11, Risk and Compliance Intelligence. Do you know what can hurt you? Some owners believe they are taking calculated risks when in reality, they have never calculated the risk. Risk intelligence asks what could materially damage the company. Losing the largest customer, vendor failure, cyber attack, fraud, uninsured loss, key person departure, equipment failure, lawsuit, a debt covenant problem, cash concentration, compliance failure, or a contract that renews or terminates under conditions nobody is watching. Compliance intelligence belongs here. Are business licenses current? Are professional licenses current? Are annual reports filed? Are sales taxes handled? Are payroll tax deposits and returns scheduled? Are insurance renewals tracked? Are contract renewals, workers' compensation audits, property filings, HR requirements, and industry-specific obligations assigned to somebody with a backup? The IRS publishes Publication 509 tax calendars with a general calendar, employer calendar, excise calendar, and 2026 semi-weekly payroll tax deposit dates. The IRS notes that a tax calendar helps taxpayers identify dates for filing forms, paying taxes, and taking other actions required by federal tax law. That is exactly the point. Compliance should be institutionalized instead of living in somebody's memory. A useful tax and compliance calendar should show what is due, the due date, when preparation starts, who owns it, who backs that person up, what information is required, who reviews it, who authorizes payment, where proof of filing is stored, and how acceptance is verified. Specific obligations vary by entity, jurisdiction, payroll deposit schedule, industry, and tax type. So the calendar has to be built for the actual company and kept current. There is a difference between taking a calculated risk and being unaware that you are standing in traffic. Segment 12, Strategic Intelligence. What are you going to do with what you know? This is the capstone. A company can collect customer data, financial reports, operational metrics, competitive information, and employee information, and still make terrible decisions. Strategic intelligence asks what all of the information means for direction. What should we stop? What should we increase? What should we reprice? What should we protect? Where should we invest? Which opportunities should we ignore? When should we pivot? What should we prepare for before the market forces us to prepare? This is where owners have to distinguish information from action. A dashboard that shows falling margin does not fix margin. A customer survey that identifies a service problem does not fix service. A turnover report does not develop a manager. A seasonal pattern does not create cash reserves. Intelligence creates value when it changes a decision, a system, a behavior, or an allocation of resources. Business intelligence tells you what is happening. Strategic intelligence tells you what you are going to do about it. A company can be data rich and decision poor. Strategic intelligence prevents the owner from becoming a museum curator of reports, somebody who can show you beautiful information but cannot explain what changed because of it. Emotional intelligence, the operating system under all 12. I would not make emotional intelligence number 13. I would put it underneath all 12 because it determines whether leadership can use any of them. Merriam-Webster defines emotional intelligence as the ability to recognize, understand, and deal skillfully with one's own emotions and the emotions of others. Why does that matter to business intelligence? Because sometimes the information exists and the owner simply cannot emotionally tolerate what the information says. The customer feedback says service is bad, but the owner becomes defensive. The numbers say prices are too low, but the owner is afraid customers will leave. The employees say a family member manager is damaging morale, but the owner protects the relative. Profitability analysis says the owner's favorite service is losing money, but the owner refuses to change it. The market says the original model is becoming obsolete, but history has become identity. Intelligence is useless if ego has veto power over evidence. Emotional intelligence helps leadership separate what I want to be true from what the evidence is telling me. It does not mean removing intuition or emotion. It means recognizing when fear, pride, attachment, embarrassment, loyalty, or ego is distorting the interpretation of evidence. Seasonal intelligence. December did not sneak up on you. Seasonality crosses customer, financial, operational, market, and strategic intelligence. So I treat it as an environmental layer rather than another numbered intelligence. Businesses repeatedly behave as though predictable seasonal changes are emergencies. Christmas comes every December. School starts every year. Summer and winter come every year. Tax season, wedding season, football season, tourism cycles, construction cycles, and government purchasing cycles are often predictable enough to prepare for. Seasonal intelligence means measuring revenue by month and week, customer counts, average transaction size, labor needs, inventory needs, promotional lead time, cash requirements, historical peaks and troughs, weather sensitivity, holiday effects, school calendar effects, and industry cycles. Do not merely say, we're seasonal, quantify the seasonality. Take 3 years of monthly revenue and plot it. Then layer gross profit, cash, payroll, inventory, advertising, and customer volume. Patterns begin to tell you when to build reserves, reduce spending, place orders, hire temporary labor, launch an off-season offer, begin marketing, or negotiate financing before you need it. Seasonality should affect your strategy before it affects your bank account. If the slow season predictably begins in January, January is too late to begin preparing for January. Preparation may belong in September, October, or November. Smart businesses do not eliminate seasonality. They reduce the number of seasonal surprises. Macroeconomic intelligence. Your business does not live on an island. The same is true of the broader economy. Owners sometimes treat inflation, employment, GDP, interest rates, energy prices, credit conditions, or consumer sentiment as television news material until the numbers reach the cash register. Then economics becomes personal. As this script is being developed on August 14th, 2026, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that consumer prices were 3.4% higher in July than a year earlier. Core CPI, excluding food and energy, was up 2.5%, and the energy index was up 14.7% year over year. The July employment report put unemployment at 4.1%, while non-farm payroll employment changed by 23,000. The Bureau of Economic Analysis estimated that real GDP increased at a 1.5% annualized rate in the second quarter of 2026. On July 29th, the Federal Reserve maintained its federal funds target range at 3.50% to 3.75%. Those numbers are not included so you can become an economist. They are examples of signals that can affect purchasing power, wages, supplier costs, customer confidence, credit availability, financing costs, inventory, recruiting, discretionary spending, and demand. The question is not, can I predict the economy? The better question is, do I understand my exposure if the economy changes? What happens if supplier costs rise another 5%? What happens if customer financing gets more expensive? What happens if unemployment rises in the zip codes where your customers live? What if gasoline jumps and your company has a large delivery fleet? What if demand suddenly accelerates and you cannot hire fast enough? Strategic intelligence does not require perfect forecasting. It requires scenario thinking before the event becomes a crisis. Smart businesses do not have to predict every economic event. They do need to understand what they are exposed to. The dumb business test. How smart is the company really? Now bring the entire model together. I would ask an owner these questions and listen closely to whether the answers are evidence or assumptions. 1. Customer intelligence. Can you describe your top customer segments using actual customer and market information rather than opinion? 2. Financial intelligence. Do you know your monthly break-even point, cash obligations, receivable condition, and forward cash requirements? 3. Profitability intelligence. Can you rank your major products, services, and customer types by actual profitability? 4. Operational intelligence. Can you identify your biggest recurring bottleneck and quantify its cost or effect? 5. Institutional intelligence. If your 3 most experienced employees left tomorrow, what critical knowledge would leave with them? 6. Promotional intelligence. Can you trace a meaningful portion of recent customers back to the marketing or promotional source that acquired them? 7. Management intelligence. Can you show objective evidence that each manager is improving the outcomes that manager owns? 8. Workforce and talent intelligence. Do you know your critical skill gaps, succession gaps, and single-person dependencies? 9. Technology and data intelligence. Are your systems producing reliable, integrated, protected information that people actually use to make decisions? 10. Market and competitive intelligence. What changed in your competitive environment during the last 12 months, and what did you change because of it? 11. Risk and compliance intelligence. What are the 5 risks most capable of materially hurting the company, and who owns each mitigation or compliance obligation? 12. Strategic intelligence. What are you doing differently this quarter because of what the business has learned? 13. Emotional intelligence. Can somebody present evidence that contradicts your opinion without you becoming defensive, dismissive, or retaliatory? 14. Seasonality. Can you predict your strongest and weakest periods and show how cash, staffing, purchasing, and promotion change in advance? 15. Macroeconomics. Which 3 external economic variables have the greatest effect on your company, and what is your response if they move against you? If the most common answers are, I think, probably, usually, my gut tells me, we have always, everybody knows, or somebody around here knows that, the company may still be making money, but it has discovered an intelligence gap. The business learning ladder. The goal is not to build dashboards nobody looks at. The goal is to move the business through a repeatable learning cycle. Level with business question. Data, what happened? Information, what does it mean? Intelligence, why is it happening and what pattern do we see? Decision, what are we going to do about it? Execution, who will do what, by when, with what resources? Learning, what happened after we acted? Institutional memory, what should the business permanently capture so we do not have to relearn it? That final step matters. Institutional intelligence closes the loop. The business learns something, acts on it, evaluates the result, and records the lesson so the next employee, manager, owner, or successor begins farther ahead than the last one did. Strategic hustling moment. Stop bragging about how long you have been in business and start measuring how much your business has learned while you have been there. Years in business can create experience, but they can also create routines that nobody questions. The goal is not to insult the business owner. The goal is to expose where success has allowed assumptions to survive without evidence. A company that learns faster, preserves what it learns, and converts learning into better decisions becomes harder to surprise and easier to scale. Closing, smartphone business or flip phone business. Your business does not need to know everything. It should know more this year than it knew last year. It should know its customers better, its money better, its profitability better, its operations better, its people better, its technology better, its market better, its risks better, its seasons better, and the outside economic forces capable of changing the game. It should be capturing the recipes, the vendor notes, the collection history, the procedures, the training lessons, the customer feedback, the aha moments, and the compliance dates that too often disappear with people. It should be able to explain what it learned and what changed because of that learning. And leadership has to possess enough emotional intelligence to accept the evidence and enough strategic intelligence to act on it. Otherwise, the company can collect mountains of data and remain functionally dumb. A flip phone can still make calls. A dumb business can still make sales. Neither one means you are equipped for what comes next. This is Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, where entrepreneurs talk money, strategy, systems, and execution. Do not just run the business harder. Build a business that can learn, remember, decide, and get smarter. Follow us on all social media platforms. Listen again on our podcast on all major platform or YouTube channel. Comment Real Business Education to let us know what we are teaching you is unlike typical business education.
Mic'd Up Money Reloaded, talk that strategy, show it. Systems moving, profit growing, real entrepreneurs already know it. No fake hustle, no empty flexing, no more guessing, no more stressing. Money, strategy, systems, execution. Reload the vision, rebuild the plan, price the value, know where you stand. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Bumping 96.3 FM, iHeartRadio, YouTube, where entrepreneurs talk money, strategy, systems, and execution. Stop just listening, start applying. Mic'd Up Money Reloaded. Let's get it.